Hi, my name's Gemma and I'm really excited to be with you this evening for Gateway's Life Lounge. My topic this evening is making the most of every moment. And if you've been with us in previous weeks, we've had some fantastic speakers talking about lots of different ways in which we can build resilience into our lives. And this evening is no different, although possibly the subject is slightly less practical, but I hope that the approach and the perspective you can still really apply to your life. We have had in previous weeks the opportunity to ask people questions at the end of the talk, and tonight's going to be no different, although I would really like you to share some of the ways in which you make the most of every moment in your own life, because I think there's going to be some really great opportunities to share how you do that. So if you could be thinking of that as I'm speaking, that would be fantastic, and I look forward to hearing those ideas from you. So I would like to start this evening by giving you a quote from C.S. Lewis, and it says this: "Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different?" That is so true, isn't it? Especially at the moment. Day by day, nothing is changing at all. Everything is very familiar and very similar. We do the same routines day in, day out. Some things we love and some things we don't love quite so much. And then when we look back on certain periods of our lives, they seem really different. And I want to explore this evening how we can make sure that we are able to really appreciate each and every moment of our day, no matter how familiar, how similar it is to the day before, so that when we look back and we see that it is different, we can be sure that we've squeezed the most out of each and every moment. So I've got three kind of overarching principles that we're going to go through first of all, and then I'm going to apply those specifically to our lives and how we can really make that real to ourselves. Number one is be thankful, not wishful. Be thankful, not wishful. Each day has been purposely built with exactly the right amount of moments in it. And no amount of rushing, no amount of wishing or cramming things in can make it any longer. I find it really important in my own life to be grateful for each moment rather than wishing that I had more. Number two is enjoy, not pass by. I've been really dwelling on the word enjoy recently and thinking how it's a verb. It's an active word, just like envelop or encase or encamp or encircle. There's something very physical and tangible about it. Can you encase this moment in joy? And I'm not saying that you can. I'm not naive enough to think that you can enjoy every moment, but you can be active. You cannot allow a moment to pass you by with wondering, is there a way that I can enjoy this moment? Number three is every moment is a gift, not a right. It's a gift, not a right. I believe that we've been blessed with each and every moment here on earth. Every breath that's in our lungs is a blessing. And so that gives us some sense of responsibility to steward these moments well. Now, I don't want that to be a pressure to you at all. Some moments are completely practical, and that's utterly fine. They're doing us a job. But there's an attitude towards our moments that we can have, and we can ask the question, what makes this moment worthy? It might be that there's some learning to be gained, or there's some perspective to be had from that moment, from that interaction, either with yourself or with somebody else. It might be life-givingly hilarious, or it might be tragically moving. But just trying to take stock, stand back and kind of reflect on some of your moments might help you. It certainly helps me to understand that each moment is a gift and not a right. I want to talk a bit more practically now about how we can make the most of every moment in our day-to-day lives. And number one is how we can make the most of every moment with ourselves. Now, this is one of my favourite things to do. I really do enjoy time with myself. I enjoy time with other people, but I really do enjoy time with myself. And you will often find me sitting in a cafe, on the beachfront preferably, with a cup of coffee and a piece of cake. And one of my favourite sayings in life is that life is too short to say no to cake. It's one of my favourite things, and I will not be robbed of it. I will enjoy it, every mouthful. I'll eat the whole thing. And I've said to my husband, no, I shan't share it. I'm just going to enjoy it myself. I enjoy that sense of just sitting and watching the world go by, watching people, watching the sea, and just being in my own space. And I make no apologies for doing that. Something else that I like doing is walking the long way round rather than the short way. I also like having a really nice body spray in the bathroom and my favourite lip balm. Not because I want to always smell beautiful and to beautify myself, but like I was saying, every moment is a gift and not a right. And every moment is a gift because we are valued highly. We are precious. And so it is a responsibility of ours to value ourselves too. And so each one of those examples just allows me time to process my thoughts, to think through ideas, to spend time with God. Just giving a little bit of extra time really, really helps. And you will probably have lots of other ideas, and I'm looking forward to hearing them. My favourite time of day is when I will sit on the sofa with a cup of coffee and my Bible, and I will read a psalm, and I will sit and drink my coffee from beginning to end, and I will have my hands around my mug and I will drink it from beginning to end, and I won't get up. And I will say I do have the age of children now where I can say I am having my cup of coffee. I know that's not always possible, and I will drink it from beginning to end, and I will dwell on a phrase from the psalm that I've read, and as I drink it I am reminded that actually God's hands around the cup, and I'm nothing. When I get to the end, I'm reminded that I'm nothing if I'm not filled with him. And it's just having an entire coffee on a sofa without dashing around that is really, really powerful to me, and just having that moment with God to reflect on him. Also, the other thing I do is I sit and listen to the noises that are around me. I'll hear my dripping tap, which could either annoy me, or I could feel grateful for that I've got running water, or I'll listen to the hum of the washing machine, or I'll listen to a television, or the children playing or shouting or singing, and I will just be in the moment. I'll focus on the moment and just be present. How can we make the most of every moment with our bestie? So talking about your spouse, or maybe a sibling, or your best friend. I'm going to talk about the example of me and my husband Dan. We love having fun together, and that's so important. Even though we've got relatively small children, doesn't mean that we can always go out. We will have at least 1 or 2 date nights each week where we're not talking about practical things, we're not talking about diaries, we won't talk about the children. We might talk about some news items that have cropped up during the week, something controversial, something tragic, some court case that allows us to get into one another's minds, learn a bit more about each other, and it's just really, really important for us to have those moments together. We might cook some good food, just enjoy sharing that, nothing extravagant, but just stuff that we like. And our secret favourite thing to do is to put on a Spotify playlist and reminisce our way through all of the songs, where we don't talk about anything of any significance, maybe just a few memories of what we were doing when we were listening to those songs originally. We really are into power ballads at the moment. We enjoy 70s funk or maybe country, and we just have a glass of wine or a beer and have fun. It's just really, really important to enjoy those moments together, enjoy and encase them. So how can we make the most of every moment with our families? So Connie, my littlest, will often have a grump when I pick her up from school without the car. It's 20 minutes walk between her school and her big brother's school, but I love it. I love every moment of it. I love holding her hand and hearing her little chattings, hearing what she's got to say. Her grump normally lasts about 30 seconds until we start playing the yes-no game, or we have a quiz, or we play her favourite game, which is going on a train and getting off at lots of different stations and making a new world at every station that we get off at. It's really important to have that one-to-one time. Unfortunately, we are often late to evening meetings, and one of the reasons, not always all of the reasons, but one of the reasons is that we always try and spend some quality time with each one of the 3 children before they go to bed. That's not about the process of getting them into bed, but it's about the process of enjoying time with them. So we can, well, not me, but Dan will play the drums with Reuben. I love reading books to them. We might watch the Bake Off with our eldest, we might play Barbies. Just having that special one-on-one time is really, really important to us, and we really value it. I always make a kind of point of looking into their eyes every day, and that might sound obvious, but kind of taking a snapshot of that moment when you're present with them. And you might even be talking about something practical, nothing at all, but you're just able to look into their eyes and have an intentional moment with them is really, really important to me. Dan gave me some really good advice, I think, when I was feeling a bit bereft that maybe our eldest didn't quite enjoy playing and reading in the same way that she used to. And he encouraged me to enter her world. And I think that's really, really good advice. Even though it might not be Dan's favourite genre of television programme to watch, kind of fashion programmes, it's really important for him that he's found something that he can do with her that they both really enjoy, and they have entered. He's entered her world, and so I try and do that too. But then it's equally important to encourage them to enter our world. So we will play the same Spotify playlist that we played on the Friday night, just the 2 of us with our family, on a Saturday night when we're having homemade pizza around the fire, because we want them to enjoy what we enjoy, and we want to enjoy what they enjoy, and we want to enjoy that moment together. How can we make the most of every moment with our friends? I think firstly it's important to kind of grasp that we can't be everything to everyone, and we can't always kind of enjoy and make the most of every single moment with every single one of our friends, unfortunately, although that would be lovely, wouldn't it, to have the time to do that. But I will try to be led by the Holy Spirit, and when certain friends are on my mind, to message them or pray for them or think of something to do for them. And I'm not always winning at that at all, but that would be my intention. I think there's with this one and possibly all of the kind of categories before them, there's a balance between intentionality and spontaneity. And some of my favourite childhood moments were when spontaneous things happened, and that just makes it so memorable. But also there is importance in being intentional and intentionally taking the moment. So whenever I'm in the supermarket, I always look at the kind of £3 flowers and think, who needs the £3 flowers today? And often I will buy 1 or 2, not actually even knowing who those £3 flowers are for. But then it becomes apparent by the end of the day, and I love that. That's so exciting for me. Also, I think it's important to say that I try and release my friends to make the most of every moment. So in the past, I would much prefer people to be late to come to my house, knowing that maybe they've just managed to get on top of the washing, or they've made the packed lunches, and that's just going to make their day or their life a little bit easier today, or that they got really into playing a game with their children, or they were having a really nice time over lunch with their husband. And I genuinely feel that sense of joy if I know that my friends feel released by me to appreciate and make the most of their own moments. That's really all I've got to say to you tonight. I hope that some of that, or a little bit of that, or a nugget of that has been helpful. But I'd just like to leave you with a favourite phrase of mine, which is just because. And I hope that you're able to recite that in your own life. I often find myself saying, just because it's there, I'm going to have a swim in the sea. Just because I can, I'm going to eat that entire piece of cake. Just because. Roll in it. Roll in the mud of every moment. Wring it dry. Squeeze it for everything that it's worth. I hope that you are able to make the most of and enjoy many of your moments. Thanks so much for listening.